Greetings, my friends. Thank you for tuning into this video. I wanted to talk a little bit about narcissism because that's a super fun topic, and I thought, hey, what better way to dip my toes back into the YouTube world after a very rocky and emotional summer than to invite a whole bunch of narcissists into the comments. This is going to be great. This is what I do for fun. Yeah. So what I really want to hit on here is, can you be an INFJ and a narcissist? And where are the lines? Where's the line that blurs basic cognitive theory from narcissistic personality disorder as an NPD, right? And nothing against narcissists, by the way. I just hate all of you. So that's great, because you're the worst. So go away. Now that that's done. If you are sticking around because you're not a narcissist, please subscribe and hit the bell. Don't do that if you're the narcissist. I don't want you here. Don't want you. So to get into this, I found a test online, and it's actually a pretty good one. I think it's through it's through Scientific American, and it's a 23 question test, and I want to step through it with you, and I want to take it with you, and just kind of give you some of my thoughts on some of the questions. But I don't want to go too slow through this. I just kind of want to bang them out. The way you need to do this is get a piece of paper or use like a notepad thing on your phone or a calculator or whatever, and we're going to score these 1 through 5. So every question, score to 1 through 5, and at the end, tally up your score, and then we'll have a look at the results. This will be fun. We're going to take it together and figure out if we're just all narcissists or not. The way we're going to score this is a number 1 is absolutely not 100% wrong. If you give something the score of 2, that means it is uncharacteristic. It's not really you. A score of 3 is maybe. You could see it, or maybe not, right? But sort of that in between, yeah, that might be like me. A 4 is definitely, this is like me. And a 5 is nailed it, that's me to a T. Pretty straightforward. 1, not at all like me. 5, yes, very much like me. And then just use the shades of gray in the middle, and we'll go from there, people. Real easy. The reason I thought this video would be kind of cool is because, as an INFJ, you've got that high extroverted feeling in your stack. And that does give you a great deal of concern for the feelings of others. Now, as a narcissist, you don't have a lot of empathy for the feelings of others, and that is not something that you take into consideration. It is truly the exact opposite of having a high FE in your function stack. So, some thoughts on this before we begin the test. Absolutely. Your cognitive type has nothing to do with the fact that you could be a narcissist or not. And I think narcissistic tendencies and behavior, in a lot of ways, are from a nurturing environment. So, in a way, hereditary. Think about it. A lot of times when you know a narcissist, it's because their mom was a narcissist and their mom or their dad was a narcissist and so on and so forth. So it is a behavior that ends up being imprinted upon people as they grow up. Now, certain things obviously will enhance and magnify that behavior, and certain things can suppress it. But I think once you are old enough to be set in your ways, if those tendencies are there, So let's dig into this test, right? I'll go ahead and post the questions up wherever, and as I read them, I'm going to get on the spectacles, right? All right, so here we go. Question number 1, right? Answering 1 through 5. 1, absolutely wrong. This is not me. And a 5, nailed it. That's me. 1, I can become entirely absorbed in thinking about my personal affairs, my health, my cares, or my relations to others. Entirely absorbed in thinking about personal affairs, health, cares, or relations to others. Yeah, I'll answer that one. Question number 2. I'm going to comment on some of these. Some of these I'm just going to breeze by. My feelings are easily hurt by ridicule or the slighting remarks of others. You know, that's funny. My feelings are easily hurt by ridicule or the slighting remarks of others. I would have answered that question differently about a year and a half ago. I think having a YouTube channel where I have a lot of subscribers at this point, and I've had videos that have been a little contentious from time to time, talking about things like, narcissism, and bringing all of those people out of the woodwork. I think anymore I'm more inclined to take a bad YouTube comment and turn it into, I don't know, terrible goth poetry. Really, you just become desensitized to it on YouTube after a while. It's just that the ride to that point kind of sucks. I'm just saying. All right, question number 3. When I enter a room, I often become self-conscious and feel that the eyes of others are upon me. Personally, I'm like a ninja, so no. When I enter a room, usually people don't know, and then I leave the room with the snacks and go somewhere private where I don't have to be around the people. It's a thing. Plus, snacks are good. Question number 4. I dislike sharing the credit of an achievement with others. I mean, personally, man, not even close. I go out of my way to make sure that I don't get credit for achievements. And sometimes that can be a problem too. This is something I'm going to touch on a little later in the video, by the way. Question number 5. I feel that I have enough on my hand without worrying about other people's troubles. my sweet, sweet INFJs. Oh, you are often worrying about other people's troubles, regardless of all of the crap that you're carrying around on your shoulders too. Just admit it. Just embrace it. It's fine. Embrace it. It's going to be okay. Question number 6. I feel that I am temperamentally different from most people. I don't know what that actually means, temperamentally different. But I'm going to say, yeah, okay, so maybe that is having a different temperament. I mean, sure. But what does that actually entail? I'm not really sure. So just answer it the best you can. I'll answer the best I can. Question 7. I often interpret the remarks of others in a personal way. Whatever. Go away. Once or twice. Once or twice. Question number 8. I easily become wrapped up in my own interests and forget the existence of others. Yeah, because that's such an INFJ trait. No, it's not. Question 9. I dislike being with a group unless I know that I am appreciated by at least one of those present. Do any of you immediately walk into a group and think, I'm okay to be here because somebody here appreciates me, and if nobody does, I'm out? I mean, that's a pretty narcissistic trait, man. That's some heavy stuff. 10. I am secretly put out or annoyed when other people come to me with their troubles, asking me for their time and sympathy. Oh, not triggered. That's a problem. That's a problem for a lot of INFJs. This one included. So yeah, are you secretly annoyed when other people come to you with their troubles, asking you for their time and sympathy? For me, it's the exact opposite, which also causes problems. 11. I am jealous of good-looking people. Yeah, that's just silly. And 12. I tend to feel humiliated when I'm criticized. Okay, it depends on the circumstance in which you're being criticized. Obviously. Yeah, but 10. Do you have a tendency towards being humiliated when criticized? Or are you... Yeah. You know what? Writing a book and having people read it and sending critiques back really does train you to not worry about being humiliated and to only try and improve when you're criticized, or in fact, only listen to the correct kind of criticism. That is also very, very important. All right, question 13. I wonder why other people aren't more appreciative of my good qualities. Yeah. What's wrong with you? Not for me, man. I don't even care. 14. I tend to see other people as being either great or terrible. Well, is there any other way? Yeah, of course. And again, just like my personal thoughts on this, I can't imagine seeing somebody great or terrible. But again, I'm not a narcissist, so there's that. And a narcissistic person is like, well, you're either... I mean, look, man, I did the whole chess analogy with that prior narcissist video. Maybe I'll put that up again real quick. Just give it a moment to watch it. But it is true. As a narcissist, you know, when somebody's narcissistic like that, you are either with them or you are the enemy. I mean, that's kind of the way it goes. Check out the chess analogy real quick, and then we're going to come back here and we'll finish up this quiz, right? So here we go. Imagine, if you will, life as a game of chess. Now you, as the average person, or you as the INFJ, you understand that this is a complex scenario of social interactions and decision making. For instance, any decision you make has an effect on others. And anything you do, or any place that you move, has to be thought out, and you understand that it affects other beings on the board, so to speak. Now that's you as an INFJ. To a narcissist, and let's say this is a narcissist, this isn't exactly how things are set up. It's a different game, and it's a different set of rules. And it's very much me against them. Actually, an even better way to put this is kind of like this. This is how the narcissist sees this game. They are the king, they are on their side, and everything else doesn't matter. Unless it's a tool. And it's a tool to be used to further their own ends. And if you are willing to be that tool, then you're on that side and you are in their good graces. And if you are not willing to be one of those tools, you don't really matter. All right, question number 15, right back at it. No more chess. Checkmate. I sometimes have fantasies about being violent without knowing why. It's perfectly normal. I mean, I've had a temper, and so at one point in my life, that wouldn't be too much of a stretch. But I don't know about violent. Like, I mean, yeah, like you're in a grocery store and somebody cuts in front of you, and sure, maybe you think about throwing the box of Cheez-Its at them, but like I wouldn't call that a violent fantasy. I'd call that more just like, I don't know, thinking about throwing food at somebody. Whatever. Question 16. I am especially sensitive to success and failure. There, my friends, there is my Achilles heel. Especially sensitive to success and failure because I want things to succeed and I work very hard to make them so. And when I don't get that success and I fail, it consumes me until I try to get it to that point where I have that success again. Sometimes I wish I could change that. Sometimes I'm kind of grateful for it. It's just one of those things. Remember, these are tendencies, right? Next one. 17. I have problems that nobody else seems to understand. Again, personally, I would have answered that differently earlier on in this whole YouTube journey of mine. But since posting some of the things that I've been through and sharing a lot of personal stuff with you all, I've noticed that the comment that I get more than any other is, me too. In a way, that's really, really comforting. And it's nice to not feel so alone. As a matter of fact, that's one of the most common comments I get as well, is people chiming in saying, me too, and now I don't feel so alone, and I watched this video, and this made a big difference and a big impact for me, and only because somebody else understands, and I really, people do have a tendency to feel really, really isolated. Okay, 18. I try to avoid rejection at all costs. Well, who doesn't? So that's definitely a thing. Nobody likes rejection. Rejection feels terrible. It sucks. Question 19. My secret thoughts, feelings, and actions would horrify some of my friends. I don't know. That's tricky. I mean, in what ways? Secret thoughts, feelings, and actions. Yeah, I mean, I guess, sure, if I sat down on the sofa and polished off half a dozen donuts while watching Gilmore Girls, maybe that would horrify some of my friends. Also, that was just once. And they were good donuts. I just needed a cry. That's all. Question 20. I tend to become involved in relationships in which I alternately adore and despise the other person. Some of you out there are thinking of this and looking at that question. I tend to become involved in relationships in which I alternately adore and despise the other person. And you're saying to yourself, not triggered, but you are. And we know you are. And it's okay. Answer that one a 5 for yourself, because you earned it. Question 21. Even when I am in a group of friends, I often feel very alone and uneasy. Ooh. Is that an introverted thing? Or is that a narcissistic thing? That is kind of an interesting one to talk about, or to think about, isn't it? When I am in a group of friends, I often feel very alone and uneasy. Personally, I often feel pretty alone and uneasy. And depending on the people, and my mood at the time. But normally I think I'm all right on that one. That's not too high of an answer. Question 22. I resent others who have what I lack. Never. Personally, never. I don't play the resentment game. I just think it leads to bad juju, man. Bad juju. Last question. Question number 23. Defeat or disappointment usually shame or anger me, but I try not to show it. Defeat or disappointment usually shame or anger me, but I decide not to show it. It's the shame and anger that I wonder about in that question. Defeat or disappointment? No, I don't know. For me, it's not like a shameful feeling, and I don't really get angry. Again, a lot of this was trained out of me doing martial arts, because in martial arts, there's always a bigger fish. Somebody's always going to be able to beat the hell out of you, no matter what. You just have to hone in on your own skills, and I think repeatedly having somebody be able to test and push you to become better and better and better because they are better is actually a really important thing in life. And when you let go of things like shame and anger, you can actually grow, which is pretty cool. So those are the 23 questions. Now we're going to add these up and talk about them, right? So add up your total, right? That's mine. Oh, yeah, it's fine. All right, so here's how it goes. According to this test, how the scoring is going to work. If you scored a 97 or above, you're a narcissist and get out. I'm just saying. Don't leave a comment, because I don't want to talk to you or hear from you, and I don't want you anywhere near me. Great. If you scored an 82 or up, you have a lot of narcissistic tendencies. Also, if you scored a 97 or up and you're a narcissist, man, that's a pretty high score, but you didn't ace the test. So basically you're a loser, Mr. Narcissist. Just saying. Really trying to start some fights in the comments. I don't know what's wrong with me. Just feeling a little oppositional today. It's fine. Anyway, if you scored an 82 or up, you've got 82 to 97, you've got a lot of narcissistic tendencies. Maybe it would be beneficial to look at other people and focus a little bit more on that, exercise that whole extroverted feeling thing. That might be good. Might be a good thing. The average for this test is in the mid-60s. So if you scored somewhere in between, I would say 60 and 70, good for you. That's pretty normal, and you are concerned with your own affairs, but also concerned with others and not letting it affect you too much. My score is a problem, because I scored a 38. Now, I answer these questions honestly, and this is the second time I've taken this test. It's been about a month and a half to 2 months when I took it prior, and I'm pretty sure the same score, maybe off by 1 or 2. This is a problem for me, and just as a personal note, I feel like I spend so much time, effort, and energy on the emotions and well-beings of others that I put myself aside a little bit too often. And that can be tough. That can be hard, because you end up holding yourself back in the things that you want to do. And that's not being fair to yourself in a lot of ways either. So there's definitely a balance. You have to have the concern for yourself and the things that you're going through and what you want, but you also have to have that concern for others. Swinging wildly one way or the other is not healthy for you, because in one way, you've got all the narcissistic tendencies, and in the other way, you're putting everything else aside because of other people, and you are holding yourself back as a result. It's no good. I'm really curious to know what your thoughts are on this. So please, pretty please, put your score down in the comments. I'm sure if you're a narcissist, you'll be like, I got 100. It can go higher than 100. It's fine. You're okay. Put your score down and let us know and what you think about some of these questions and thoughts on them, or on this test in general. As INFJs, our cognitive functions are typically directly oppositional to that of a narcissist. where there's a lack of empathy, but we tend to have extreme empathy. There's a lack of consideration of other people's feelings on the side of a narcissist. We make our decisions based on the harmony of other people. And so to say that can an INFJ be a narcissist? Yes, absolutely. Anybody can. It has nothing to do with your cognitive type. Wrap that around your head first. Nothing to do with your cognitive type. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It is certainly possible to be an INFJ and a narcissist, and in a lot of ways use your INFJ superpowers. You know what I think about those people. But use those abilities that you have as an INFJ to manipulate others. And that's some bad stuff. Bad karma coming your way if you're taking all of that ability to read people and using it to just manipulate. Please don't be that person. Anyway, that's it for this one. I wanted to say thank you so much for being here, for checking this one out. Hopefully you enjoyed this test. Share it to see if other people are narcissists too. And you know what? The easiest test for a narcissist is just asking them, are you a narcissist? Because of course they're going to want to talk about themselves and be like, yeah, I am. So that one's pretty much foolproof. Just saying. Big things are coming to this channel. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. I'm trying to get back into it all now after all of the stuff that I've had to go through this summer. So thank you. Thank you for sticking around with me here. It's really nice to be back, and I hope to see you very, very soon.